Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel on human design. Today I want to go into the theme of identification. Now the thumbnail text is, who do you think you are? And Ra on a number of occasions said, your mind will kill you if you let it. It's something to consider what's happening. And the spark for this came through a question from one of the viewers. Hi, Richard. Why is this human design like this? Why does mine have to be so accurate and inaccurate? The timings of my life are so much snappier and quicker than that of a conscious role model. I am 20 years old and I'm really up on the roof. And I can't wait to get back off because I know what's going to be there for me. But why so quickly? Or is it just me wanting to be in a hurry? Is this part of my first stage, seeing what works and what doesn't, and seeing that on the roof works? Then I will have to be living in a perpetual state of experiencing life and going back on the roof until I reach my tranquility. No, mate, you're not on the roof. You're 21. You're 20 years old. You're going through the trial and error version of the sixth line. However, you think you're on the roof. You think you're on the roof and you want to get back down off the roof. What you think and what is actually going on is a very different thing. And we know this through the knowledge of human design and through this wonderful word called verifiability. Is it verifiable? The wonderful thing about human design is that you can verify things, you can try an experiment, and you can see the results. So no, you're not on the roof. When you get on the roof, you will really know it, and it's not going to be what you think you're experiencing right now. And this leads me to talk about something else. In terms of identification, identification is there in human design as the 16th gate. It is known as the gate of skills. It is a throat gate. And it's a gate of part of the stream of taste. So it is very pernickety. It's like, they like this, but they certainly don't like that. It's a very logical, critical aspect to one's design. But identification is also part of a theme that is going to be leaving the world. When this cycle ends, the 16 will not be there. It will not be there in the background field as it is now, as it has been for 400 odd years. So it's leaving us, just as you can see in terms of skills, how many skills we've lost. You simply have to walk into any antique shop to see some of the remarkable work that used to be done that we cannot replicate because we don't have the skills. We have technology, but the technology can't match the skills that we used to have. And it's breaking down in a way. We know that the skills are going, we can see that they have, we can verify it. But also there's a lot more going on right now with the political situation, with the themes that are being put mentally into the world in terms of identification. People identifying as this, people identifying as that. There's a subgroup now identifying as furries. They can identify as being wolves and dress up in furry wolf outfit. There are people that identify as cakes. Why? Because they feel soft and fluffy. So in my view, it's all gone too far, but that's in my view. Let's have a look at the text, shall we? The 16th gate. First thing I want you to see about the 16th gate is or the 16th hexagram in this case. We're going to look at the hexagram and you will see that it's very open. It's part of the stream of taste. It's very open. It's very yin until you get to the fourth line, and that's yang. And the fourth line is about really externalizing, being fixed in your externalization of whatever it is that your taste is. And it's strong and it's fixed. It doesn't want to change. It wants to just put it out as it is. And if you don't like it, then they'll withdraw and they'll put the same thing out to someone else until they get accepted. The fourth line is a very strong aspect of the 16th gate. So let's have a look at the foundation of this gate, shall we? If we go down to line 1, it's called the line of delusion. The blue text is called false enthusiasm. And in the exaltation, it's the daydreamer, the expression of talent through daydreaming. And in the detriment, the public communication of inevitably unrealized claims, the tendency to express fantasy as fact. And that's in Mercury. So that's to be expressed, and that's to be expressed in words. You know, the expression of fantasy, the claiming of fantasy as fact, the fixed nature of wanting to argue your case that the fantasy is the fact. And this is what's going on a lot right now. The thing is it verifiable? I mean, if you're a projector or a reflector and you identify as being a generator or a manifester, you're going to see the results of that way of living. You're going to get utterly exhausted. You're going to have adrenal overload. You know, you're going to be detrimental. Your mind of identifying with that is going to be detrimental to the way that you live your life. Why? Because you're not designed to be an energy type. You're just not. And this is one of the wonderful things I find about human design. Not only is it verifiable and fascinating, and you can go into great depth with it, but it's also something that is clearly evident in the living of the life. It just is. Human design works. It works because it's verifiable. And you can think whatever you like. At the end of the day, there are indications within the way that you live, within the way that you move, within the way that you talk, that fit your design. In the classic interpretation of who you think you are in human design training, we talk about everything in black. All the black gates are what you identify with. And all the red gates are what is unconscious in you. So yes, there is a natural identification to what the black gates are. If you know the themes, you will see that. It will be clearly obvious. You know, the truth is the truth, and that's the end of it. Someone identifying with a wolf in everything but physical is not a wolf, because a wolf is a wolf. I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me. I don't think I'm missing anything. For those of you who go, oh, you don't understand, Richard. Yeah, I think I do understand. I understand reality in a way that is verifiable. And I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about all the crazy stuff that's going on and all the reasons behind it, etc., etc., etc. But I'm also thinking about the larger story. Ra received the prophecy that there would be a new species coming in 2027, and that species would not be human. And one of the key things about this species that he called the Rave is that they are going to be a single mind with the awake awareness of the solar plex. It's going to be the movement towards solar plexus awareness, the movement towards feeling, the movement towards melding. And that is something that is coming. And we see some of that happening in the movement and the extension of autism and various other things. But then I got to thinking, well, what does that mean for the ajna? What does that mean for the conceptual mind? What does that mean for all the years we've spent going into trying to work out what the hell is happening, what's going on in the world, all the scientific studies, all the conceptual understandings? And as we're on this cusp now of moving from one cycle to another, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's breaking down. You know, maybe that kind of awareness, the intellectual awareness that we are so proud of, is actually shattering in some way. These delusions that are taking place in the world in so many different ways, maybe it's part of that. Maybe it's a symptom of the conceptual mind breaking down, or us seeing the limitations of the conceptual mind. It's breaking down with the delusional identification of being a cake or whatever it may be. There's a kind of madness coming into the world. And in a way, the mind is mad. It's concepts flying around, trying to make sense of things, trying to track things, trying to, you know, bring out certain things that so that we can express it in words. But it's not like what we haven't yet got, which is this clear emotional awareness that's so much deeper, that's so much more able to penetrate into actually what is going on in our reality. And maybe it's just falling apart a little bit at this moment. Makes you think, doesn't it? For those of you who are new to human design and want to know what you identify as being according to the blacklist of numbers, there's a free report you can get from my website, and the link is down in the descriptions. So I hope that's made you think about identification, and about the 16th gate, and about the nature of the mind, and maybe, just maybe, about actually what's going on in the bigger picture. If you've enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe. Please subscribe and share, and I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.